Hey Dharma Circle. I've been exploring a couple concepts with horses and humans lately, and I want to share them with you for your consideration and your own contemplation. In the horse world, I talk a lot about whisper, ask, and tell. And ideally, we want to stay with the whisper, if at all possible. We don't want to have to get to an ask or a tell or a demand. And so how much can we actually accomplish with a whisper? And that requires very clear, congruent communication. And so I've been exploring this more closely with my own horse and with my close relationships and even with clients. And I'm curious where you find yourself. One of the things I've noticed in my own journey is that my personal mythology, my family system required me, my life experiences have required that I get really loud in order to get needs met. And I'm realizing that that's not necessary. With certain people and certain environments and situations, the loud, the tell or the demand, the loud ask, it's not necessary. And so one of the questions I've been exploring with my horse and really all of my animals and human relationships is this question of how much of this is me, how much of this is the horse, how much of this is me, how much of this is the dog or what the dog is experiencing, how much of this is my own personal mythology, how much of this is this other human's personal mythology. In other words, what's mine, what's not mine, right? So when we explore those questions with this concept of whisper, ask, tell, it gets really interesting. I personally prefer to stay at a whisper. I don't like to have to get loud, and that's something that I have continued to explore for myself with humans and with animals. My nature is not to get loud. There are people who their nature is to be loud, and a whisper is very challenging for them. For me, I prefer to stay at a whisper and not have to get to a tell or a demand. That's not my preference. So the curiosity becomes how to be clear and congruent in our communication so that we don't have to get to a tell or a demand. Is that even possible with the individual you're working with? And there's no right way or wrong way or right answer to this. What I'm inviting you to do is get curious and explore for yourself your own range. And ultimately, what is a whisper to you? What is an ask to you? What is a tell? What is a demand? How does that sound? How does that feel in your own body? What does that look like, or what does that mean in the relationship with self and the relationship with others? And what I mean by that is when we talk about whisper, ask, tell with another being, like a horse or even a human, it starts within. What is the relationship we have with our own emotion? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. What is our relationship with our body? Do we have to wait until our body is so loud that it is demanding that we pay attention? I know for some people, that's the path they take. I prefer a whisper. Is it possible, and what does that mean for you, to listen more closely to the whisper of your body and respond from that place? To ask for your needs to be met by listening to your body at a whisper. The body is always whispering to us. We don't have to wait until it's yelling, demanding that we show up, that we honor its needs. And I find this inquiry, this self-inquiry, important. And it does mean that we need to have, build a relationship with our emotional body intelligence, to continue to get curious and daily support the listening skills required to build a relationship with our body. That is part of creating a dynamic of whisper with our own inner intelligence and our own body wisdom. And then we can show up more fully in the whisper with others. That said, there are going to be horses and humans and animals that don't function at a whisper and never will. And then we have to decide if that's going to work for us. And that's where, listening to your own body wisdom is really important, and honoring your own needs is really important. But we can't do that without that curiosity and that willingness to show up consistently. So, what does whisper, ask, tell, demand feel like in your own body? What does that sound like? What does that mean for you? And in the dynamic of relationship with self and others, exploring the question of how much of this is me, how much of this is not me, them. I'm just going to invite you to hold some of that and get curious. And I'm going to continue to explore this too. This is some lifelong curiosity. And I just had a wonderful session with my equine therapist, and we're exploring these concepts right now. And, working with different horses has helped me explore some of these concepts and experiences in myself and my own body. And so I'm going to invite you to get curious about these questions with your animal companions and your animal friends as well, and your human companions and your human relationships as well. Share with me below, what does your whisper, ask, tell feel like in your body? And what's been your relationship with these dynamics? We have the Dharma Summit coming up, April 12th. I'm going to be sharing resources, tools, and guidance with you for 10 days as we celebrate the sacred 9 days of Mother Divine. And these resources and tools will support you in clarifying your path and purpose and your dharmic business. And I look forward to sharing more with you in our rituals and our live classes. All of these resources are available for free. I do this several times a year. during Navratri. Hope you'll join us. I'll put a link above this video. See you soon. Bye.